Díogwit agus fáilte go radio telefís Éireann Northern Ireland News.
Hello and welcome to BBC Northern Ireland 32 News.
We are delighted to be taking part in this new venture with our very good friends up in Belfast.
We are also very pleased to be taking part in this experiment with our friends down in Dublin.
We are bringing you a nightly shared news broadcast so the people of Ireland will have a non-partisan news outlet they can trust.
Thanks to Brexit, we have this new exciting development in world news broadcasting.
Everyone in RTÉ would like to thank the European Union for including this groundbreaking initiative in the final Brexit bill. We hope this experiment in broadcast news can become a template for divided societies across Europe and around the world.
Northern Ireland has led the world in conflict resolution, and again we find ourselves in the vanguard of peace and reconciliation. What have you got for us this evening, Margaret?
Well, tonight, Seaínín, we will be looking at carbon neutrality and some of the ways we can all adjust our behaviour to find a path for the island of Ireland as a whole to achieve carbon neutrality. We'll be going to UCD here in Dublin to meet the scientists who are leading the world in carbon neutrality solutions. But first, we go to the beautiful glens of Antrim to hear the views of a sheep farmer. Oh, 3 minutes.
Beautiful introduction, Margaret.
Thank you.
That sheep farmer was class. I loved him, very wise.
He was really interesting. That accent though.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing, I love accents. They make Ireland a richer place. It was just so earthy.
I loved how his grandfather used to plant an ash tree at the beginning of lambing season and then another when it ended. Then his father took over the custom and now he plants one for every lamb that is born on his farm.
Yeah, that felt very ancient and very sacred.
Have you ever been to the Glens?
Once for a wedding, and I couldn't get over the quiet majesty of the place. It's such a well-kept secret and it's so unspoiled. I suppose the Troubles kept tourists away.
Every cloud, I suppose. I hope it stays that way. The tourist board are really pushing the area with Game of Thrones tours and the Causeway coastal route. Everything in the north seems to be for the tourists. Maybe because of this pandemic, we can rethink our tourism-heavy economy. You know, since COVID hit, the sight of giant cruise ships pulling into Belfast harbour doesn't have the same romance it once had.
Would you use the carbon neutral app the lads are developing at UCD?
I think it's a great idea. Linking how much red meat you're allowed to eat to your carbon footprint. It's a great incentive. I haven't been on a plane for a year, so it's a fry every day for me.
Well, I like the fact that you're personally responsible. I mean, sometimes with climate change, it can all feel so overwhelming.
When the park run stopped, a group of us formed a WhatsApp group to monitor our daily steps. At the beginning, it was good crack and good support, but it quickly became so out of hand.
Oh, why so?
It got competitive really quickly and we had a daily steps target. And people just started posting higher and higher step counts. I started to get so anxious about it. In the end, I strapped my Fitbit to the dog and just lay on the sofa and binged watched Call My Agent.
I loved that. Made me really miss Paris though. That'll be one of the first places I visit as soon as the travel ban is lifted.
Have you been doing a bucket list of things you'll do and places you'll go when this is all over?
I did start one last year, but it made me more depressed than anything. It highlighted to me all the times that you couldn't go anywhere or do something. Instead of inspiring me, I felt judged.
As soon as it's normal, I'm for San Sebastian. I've never been and it looks amazing.
I found myself watching Inspector Montalbano just for the scenery shots of Sicily.
The last time I was out of the country was to go to Brussels to do a report on Brexit.
That's so much more glamorous than me. The last time I was out of the country was to accompany my husband to Lithuania for his hip replacement. And we are back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Fascinating work going on at UCD. I'll definitely get that carbon neutral app when it's released.
And I am visiting the Glens of Antrim as soon as restrictions permit. What's up next, Seaínín?
As momentum grows for a referendum on Irish unity, we have a special report from Berlin. It's over 30 years since German unification, and we asked what worked and what didn't in the lead up to German unity, and what lessons can we learn in planning for a border poll? 3 minutes.
That was a very good report.
Do you think there will be a border poll?
Well, I think it's inevitable. But whether there is one or not, it would be extremely foolish not to prepare for one or at least have a conversation about it.
Brexit has made a huge difference to everybody's thinking here.
Well, Brexit and COVID are two words I wish I'd never heard of.
At least Trump's gone.
Oh, it was exhausting reporting on him. I did a couple of St. Patrick's Day special reports in Washington when he was in office, and it was very sobering to see the administration up close. It was impossible to keep up with all the lies. It was constant.
Boris Johnson is using the same playbook.
Oh, well, Leo the leak is fast becoming Leo the liar.
And nothing is a resignation matter anymore.
It's completely changed our job. It feels like we are always a day too late with the news. And we report on one lie and there are another 3 or 4 by the time we go on air.
There were times when I was reporting on the RHI scandal that I got overwhelmed by the sheer scale of it. I found it difficult to acknowledge, even to myself, that what happened actually happened. It was the incredible hubris mixed with incompetence and corruption. And of course, nobody went to jail. I started feeling I was the only one paying a price for it, and all I did was report on it. I got quite depressed. In the end, I went to therapy. I wish I'd done it sooner.
I've been in therapy for years. I don't know how you could possibly do this job without therapy. It's all the stuff that we know but are not allowed to report on for various reasons. It started to really weigh heavy on me. I thought I was going to be doing reporting that would make the world a better place. Sometimes we do, but it's what we don't report that's the worst part of this job.
Anything specific?
Oh, one simple example. We have a terrible housing crisis here in the Republic with chronic homelessness and young people not being able to get on the housing ladder. And the prices for rental accommodation in Dublin, they're scandalous. And yet the majority of TDs voting on housing bills, they are landlords. They enact laws to line their own pockets and the cycle continues.
But it's not against the law. So how can we report on it?
Well, we could mention how many rental properties every TD has when they are voting on a housing bill. We could keep mentioning it every time one of them appears on a radio or the TV to talk about housing, but we don't. And I'm not suggesting that shaming these landlords would make a blind bit of difference. They're quite a shameless bunch, but it might help explain to the population why we are seemingly incapable of solving our housing problem, which in a civilized society should be a basic human right. And we are back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
That certainly gave us food for thought. It was heartening to see those images of the peaceful revolution again.
I remember it well. It's hard to imagine now, but even as the Berlin Wall was coming down, there were many experts inside and outside of Germany who believed that a real reunification would never happen in the foreseeable future.
Certainly something to think about, Margaret. Our next report is on the exciting race to become European Religious Site 2024.
Next year, we'll see Lourdes become crowned the first European religious site, and they have planned many special events throughout the year.
The competition for Ireland's entry for 2024 is hotting up, and the contest has been narrowed down to just 2 candidates.
We have a special report from both locations. First, we go to Knock.
Then the city of Armagh.
Holy Mother of God, who in the European Union came up with this idea?
The European City of Culture has been a huge success.
Aye, somebody should tell that to Galway.
It'll increase tourism.
Tourism again.
Who do you think will win?
But it has to be Knock.
Armagh is the ecclesiastical capital of Ireland.
Jesus's mother did not appear in Armagh.
Cathedrals, Armagh 2, Knock 0.
Airports, Knock 1, Armagh 0.
Armagh is a bit classier. It doesn't have all those tacky religious gift shops.
Those tacky religious gift shops are exactly what the religious visitors want. That's a point for Knock.
The ashes of Bran Baru are in Armagh.
What religion is he?
Armagh is very close to Drogheda, so visitors could pop down to see Oliver Plunkett's head.
That could be a game changer.
Armagh has a lot more potential for long-term religious development. It could become an ecclesiastical super theme park.
Sell it to me.
Armagh could build a brand new Stations of the Cross throughout the city.
Can Knock not do that?
No, too flat. Armagh's new Via Dolorosa will be an exact scale of Christ's final journey. You'll be able to hire or buy your own cross, get flogged, spat on and abused. A Veronica's retail outlet will enable you to get your own face printed onto a tea towel. And of course, rooms will be available to hire for a Last Supper.
You should work for the tourist board.
They could build the biggest Big Dipper in the world, which would be completely underground and themed on Dante's descent into hell. Can you imagine a joint opening ceremony performed by the Queen and the Pope together?
Great publicity.
I guarantee that within 2 weeks of opening, there will have been at least one miracle.
Naturally.
I think Armagh has it.
I think they should make Armagh play Mayo in Croke Park and the winner gets the prize.
What a game that would be.
Could you imagine the rattling of the rosary beads as the ball is thrown in?
And we're back in 5, 4, 3, 2. Exciting times ahead for both Armagh and Knock.
We wish the two of them the very best of luck.
As talks about a new bridge between Scotland and Northern Ireland continue, a new bridge has been built across the River Lagan in Belfast.
The foot and cycle bridge has become bogged down in controversy after unionists declared they wanted to name it the Centenary Bridge to mark 100 years of Northern Ireland. Here's our report. 2 minutes.
I live near this bridge.
Is it really a controversy or just another distraction?
You never really know in the north. These things can blow up or blow over.
Our last new bridge over the Liffey was dedicated to Rosie Hackett, trade unionist and 1916 veteran who helped change the working conditions of thousands of women.
Well, we've become more imaginative over our bridge naming in recent years. We now have the Sam Thompson Bridge after the playwright who wrote Over the Bridge. And then there's the Jimmy Ellis Bridge after the actor. So I think it's time for a woman to be honoured.
Does the Queen not count?
That's different.
Who would you name it after?
Well, the bridge is really close to the Lyric Theatre, so I'd love it to be named after Mary O'Malley, the founder.
That's a good call.
Mary Ann McCracken, that would be good too, but her name's a bit unwieldy.
People would get used to it or rename it, like the balls on the falls.
The Thanksgiving statue overlooking the Lagan has many names. Nuala with the hula, the thing with the ring, my personal favourite, Grania with the fun.
They called the spire on O'Connell Street the stiletto in the ghetto, the erection at the intersection, and the stiffy by the Liffey.
Hope we make a progressive choice.
Amen to that. And we are back in 5, 4, 3, 2. What a lovely day that looked on the banks of the Lagan.
Before we go tonight, we'd like to thank you all for your suggestions for our One Island, One Book Club.
We have been overwhelmed by the response and there is still time for you to send in your suggestions. All will be revealed on Friday.
In the meantime, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight.
And I hope you can join us at 9:30 tomorrow night.
So it's good night from Belfast.
Agus Ihawa from Dublin. Ihawa.